The Vegas Raiders have fired their offensive coordinator and are now on their way into the probably 19th century with their offense. It's a start, is where I come. By the way, we're not going to talk a whole lot about the loss. They got just shit kicked by an average football team. So again, bleh, bleh for that performance. Analysis over. Firing the head coach is a start. The play calling has been just so conservative and so limiting to an offense that actually has some talented people on it. Obviously not as talented at the beginning of the season. When you lose Devontae Adams, that's going to happen. But for this team to have Brock Bowers, who I think you can get extremely creative with, Jacoby Myers, who is still a very good receiver, and then you have a bunch of real speed kind of gadget type of players, to just have a offense that this team would have run in the 70s and even then thought, boy, it's a little conservative. That's not the way that this team should be run right now. It is archaic what they have been doing, and it's the start of all the changes that need to happen with the Raiders. I don't know if play calling was the biggest issue, but it was up there on the offensive side and just the philosophy in general. But I do think the overall philosophy for this was coming from Antonio Pierce. Like, I don't think Antonio Pierce was going into the coach's box after the game and saying, man, we gotta open this thing up. Let's let her rip, baby. That was not happening with this Vegas Raiders team. And so again, the coach and this mentality has to go. I credit him for bringing a swagger and an edge back to the Raiders, but it's tough to have a swagger when you're losing by 30 every week. So you need an actual coach who has an actual game plan out there to do it. The roster simply isn't good enough either. There is an entire organizational shift that needs to happen with the Raiders, and it needs to start this offseason. And again, we've talked about this a couple of times. People making the joke, oh yeah, just draft Shedeur Sanders, bring in Deion Sanders, and change everything. At this point, I'm open to it. You can bring that confidence in. He's going to help recruit a couple of guys, and this team hasn't had a dynamic quarterback in ever. Like, the most dynamic quarterback they've had was a 39-year-old Rich Gannon. So this is a team that I think really does need an entire facelift, and that would be something that would bring that to the Raiders. So I am interested to see what other moves kind of follow the Raiders coming off of this. So that is the story from the NFL.